Etsy is the kind of company Santa Claus could outsource to provide those special gifts for that special someone that you want just the right thing with a homemade touch. Let's take a look at this hot stock. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment only. Etsy came to fame in 2020 when there weren't enough facial masks for the health problems going on, and Etsy produced all sorts of imaginative masks as people wanted something attractive or different or stylish or something to set them apart from the crowd. It also relieved some of the pressure on healthcare providers, as at the time there was a severe shortage of the very protective masks that medical professionals need. There are now at least 5 million sellers and 90 million buyers on their site. The next category is jewelry and personal accessories. And there's a reason for this. Well, first, people like to buy that online. And second, it decreases costs for sellers. A piece of jewelry is an expensive item that the shipping costs are going to be reduced because it probably isn't going to weigh that much. They have a fourth category, apparel, which of course is clothing, although why they don't call it just clothing, no one knows. But that is their fourth category, and they have all manner of customizable and funky clothing that is sure to stir your imagination. Their fifth highest selling category is paper and party supplies. Thank God it's Friday. And their last but not least of the 6 categories is beauty and personal care. So Etsy is very much a personalized and creative sites made by creative artisans with a homemade touch. Etsy has been called the best craft fair you can find. Etsy's growth has been stunning, as they had a little over 9 million users in 2012, and now they have well over 81 million. And that was at the end of 2020, and I believe it's grown beyond that. 50% of Etsy's customers purchase again from them within 4 years, so they tend to be a very sticky site that people keep in mind when they want that special customizable present for someone. It's been found that the longer a customer sticks with Etsy, the more they spend, and that's a good sign that people are loving this site, that they're liking what they're purchasing. It's really a driver of social e-commerce. People advertise on Facebook and places like that. And Kathy Wood is very bullish and favorable towards the idea of social commerce expanding exponentially. Home decor, graphic design, digital design, and anything miniature is also very popular on Etsy. Toys and baby items are always popular. Organic cosmetics is surprisingly popular. Vintage, funky, and streetwear type of clothing is a classic type of thing to be on Etsy. But there is a controversy here. Etsy bought a company called Depop, that's D-E-P-O-P, and what they do is they drop ship items from a company that makes vintage and funky clothing. And so sellers can buy this clothing from Depop and have it drop shipped to the buyer, having never touched the clothing and having never made it themselves, which is kind of a violation of the spirit of Etsy. And so I think they tried to be true to it in the sense that at least it has to be vintage and funky stuff that's a little bit off the beaten track, or something that's very popular. But if they get too much into this, and I think it's a big temptation because it's so easy to have it drop shipped, and they complain that they can't have their delivery times as fast as they want them. Well, with drop shipping, you're going to do it fast. That's the beauty of drop shipping. But I think you could miss out on the personal touch. And I think when people are ordering these types of items, these aren't the type of items that you've got to have tomorrow or you can't go to your job. I mean, these are funky gift items that for the careful gift buyer who buys things they like when they see them because they think it's likely that there'll be a person that this will exactly fit in the future. My wife taught me to do that, as a matter of fact. And so that tends to be a very good habit. But I think they can do that a little bit as long as they don't go too far with it. Etsy has very high customer satisfaction. Their dispute rate, people dissatisfied with their product, is 0.3%, which is phenomenally low. Sellers know that their reputation and their likelihood of having a repeat customer depends so much on the service they provide and the product they provide, and they're going to make it right if you're dissatisfied. So what are the fees for the average seller? Well, there's a 5% transaction fee. Then there's, if you use their payment processing service, there's another 3%. They also add a little 25-cent charge to that, so it's 3% plus a 25-cent charge per transaction. Plus, if someone buys, now this is up to you as a seller, but if you want to let them advertise off-site on another site on your behalf and include your item in an advertisement at another site, they charge you 15% of the selling price. And it's up to you whether you want to pay for off-site advertising, but most sellers will go along with that because the benefit is so much greater than the cost. To bring in that additional advertising brings in additional customers, and they'll gladly pay the 15%. So the cost generally to the seller is around 8% to 23%, depending on whether you want that off-site advertising, which adds 15% to it. But again, that's an easy decision for most people because you're going to find that brings in a lot more buyers. And if you have a 50% markup on your product, which most people have at least, it makes it worthwhile. Kathy Woods is a believer and is a buyer of the stock, which undoubtedly adds to its recent run-up. Let's take a look at the charts. So what mainly attracted me to Etsy was the tremendous growth of their buyers. In 2020, the number of buyers absolutely skyrocketed. We can see in the 1 month chart that it's gone up to around 220. I bought it somewhere below 210. So I would be okay with buying it above 220. I would probably go as far as 225. But I would prefer to buy it below 210, of course. But that's your dilemma. This company has an earnings growth rate of 42%. So you might try and wait for it to return to below 210, but you might miss it then too. I'm fond of the VectorVest stock advisory service. I pay like $20 a month, and what I like about them is they show you why they like a stock. They rate it on 4 different dimensions, and I am tired of looking at different advisors and getting their global impression. There's many reasons you could like a stock, and I like to know what features they're keying on. And Etsy is rated as a buy because it's seen as positive in all dimensions. Well, most dimensions: upside potential, timing, and overall. So it's positive in that way. It's a little bit of caution on the safety, and I think that's because it's gone up steadily for the last month. And like me, they might be saying, "Well, is it going to keep going up?" Which is always the question. But I would be okay up to 225. But I think a person probably wants to slow down, especially if it goes over 225. Of course, if you're a momentum investor, if it goes above 225, you want to jump on it. So, this is always the debate with stocks. This is a strong growth stock. They grow 42% per year. So it's a very strong growth stock. And when I have that kind of growth, I worry a little less about the price. This is my list of hot stocks that I invest in, and some are swing trades and some are longer term, and I may go in and out of stocks. I'm an active trader. I think I've traded in and out of Tesla about 10 times, but it hasn't hurt me because I've made tens of thousands of dollars on the trades. So I believe in actively trading. Even stocks that I believe in, I will treat it like a swing trade. But I can see when it's getting a little bit toppy, so I might bow out. And if I'm wrong, I will, and I've missed the parade, I don't hesitate to jump back in if it's a high momentum play, for example. I'm going to be doing an update of this list, as there are many winners on this list, and I want to highlight what's worked and how it's worked for me. I will see you in the future, and always remember, there's some bargains you cannot afford.